The primary election is coming up on May 18th, and we want you to vote. A primary election is an election in which registered party members select the candidates for the general election in November. But even if you are registered as an independent, there are several ballot questions for you to vote on.
To vote on May 18th, you have to be registered to vote. Normally, Pennsylvania's primaries are limited to only registered Democrats and Republicans. But no matter your registered party, every registered voter will be able to vote in this primary election. This is because this year's ballot will include 4 special questions regarding proposed constitutional amendments. Other requirements to vote are that you, 1, must be a citizen of the United States for at least a month before the primary. 2, you must be a resident of Pennsylvania in the election district for at least 30 days before the primary. And 3, you must be at least 18 years of age on or before the day of the election.
How can you register to vote? Although it is too late to register to vote for the May 18th primary election, everyone should register if you're over 18. If you qualify to vote, you must register at least 15 days before the next election. To start this process, you must visit vote.gov and select the state or territory that you reside in. From there, all you need to do is fill out the form on the website to confirm your registration.
For this election, there are 4 special questions regarding proposed constitutional amendments. The first ballot question is a proposed constitutional amendment of Article 3, Section 9. This question addresses the termination of extension of disaster emergency declarations. The ballot question reads, shall the Pennsylvania Constitution be amended to change existing law and increase the power of the General Assembly to unilaterally terminate or extend a disaster emergency declaration, and the powers of the Commonwealth agencies to address the disaster regardless of its severity pursuant to that declaration, through passing a concurrent resolution by simple majority, thereby removing the existing check and balance of presenting a resolution to the governor for approval or disapproval. If you vote yes, you agree to give the legislature, by a simple majority vote, the sole power to take away the governor's existing authority to make disaster emergency declarations and coordinate with relevant Pennsylvania agencies. If you vote no, you disagree with giving the legislature, by a simple majority vote, the sole power to take away the governor's existing authority to make disaster and emergency declarations and coordinate with relevant Pennsylvania agencies.
The second proposed constitutional amendment, 4, deals with the governor's ability to declare an emergency. It allows the governor to declare a disaster emergency, but they can last 21 days at most and cannot be renewed without the approval of the General Assembly. Currently, the governor can declare a disaster emergency for up to 90 days and can renew it on their own. If one were to vote yes to this Article 4 constitutional amendment, they would be in favor of decreasing the time of any emergency disaster declaration from 90 days to 21 days unless the Pennsylvania legislature votes to extend the declaration. If one were to vote no to this Article 4 constitutional amendment, they would be against changing the current law that gives the governor the authority to issue emergency declarations without a 21-day limitation.
The proposed amendment to Article 1 would add a section to the Pennsylvania Constitution that reads, "Equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania because of the race or ethnicity of the individual." Once added to the Constitution, this amendment could not be eliminated unless it is either ruled unconstitutional or amended by the passing of another amendment. Laws inconsistent with it may not be passed, but the ones that help to implement it can. The question you will see your ballot reads, shall the Pennsylvania Constitution be amended by adding a new section providing the equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged because of the individual's race or ethnicity? Voting yes on this item would mean all Pennsylvania government institutions and other entities would be prohibited from discriminating against individuals based on their race or ethnicity. This would promote the state's rights to enact legislation like this independently from the federal government, as well as specifically note the prohibition of discrimination under Pennsylvania law when considering candidates for opportunities.
On the ballot is a proposed ordinance special election question. If this question is approved by a majority of those voting, Chapter 205 of the Allegheny County Code, Allegheny County Jail, shall be added to include sections 205, 30, and 31 governing, regulating, and documenting the conditions of confinement. The conditions of confinement affected by the proposed ordinance would prohibit solitary confinement for more than 20 hours per day, except for those limited circumstances, and not to be used as punishment, and prohibiting the use of restraining chairs, chemical agents, or leg shackles.
The Judge of Superior Court's job is to hear appeals in criminal and civil cases that come from the Court of Common Pleas. They also hear family cases involving children. There are 15 judges on the court, and they serve a 10-year term.
The PA Judge of the Commonwealth Court is limited to appeals from state agencies or from the Court of Common Pleas concerning legal questions and government regulation. They serve 10-year terms, so choose wisely.
The Court of Common Pleas is a trial court that covers civil, criminal, orphan, and family matters. Orphans court matters include trusts and estates. Family court matters include adoptions, divorces, child custody, child support, abuse, and neglect. The Court of Common Pleas also handles appeals from minor courts, appeals that aren't assigned to another court, and appeals from government agencies. Judges of Common Pleas hold 10-year terms. Candidates may cross-file and appear on both Republican and Democratic tickets. In Pennsylvania, there are 60 districts with 1 to 93 judges in each.
Magisterial district judges have jurisdiction over minor criminal offenses, traffic offensive, landlord-tenant matters, and other civil actions where the amount claimed does not exceed $12,000. In misdemeanor and felony cases, magisterial district judges have jurisdiction to issue arrests and search warrants, hold preliminary arrangements and hearings, and set bail. They also have the authority to perform marriages, handle protection from abuse matters, and issue subpoenas.
The FC District Director has many roles and responsibilities that he or she must do for our school district, which is District 2. For one, the District Director can evaluate and develop curriculum requirements for students. Another huge thing that the FC District Director has charge of is managing the teaching procedures that teachers regularly use. You can see how managing the position of District Director can hold a lot of influence against your children's education. You want to make sure you vote for someone who represents the ambitions and values that make a great student, person, and leader.
An elected township supervisor is responsible for deciding issues of public safety, spending, growth management, zoning, roads and streets, code enforcement, environment, and how to pay for it all.
It is important to participate in the democratic process, so get out and vote. Choose who will represent you and the people you care for.
Remember, if you are a first-time voter, don't forget to bring your ID.
You can find more information on Vote 411 about what will be on the ticket on May 18th. Just put in your address.